to catch the game yourself, but where they played Reason in the semifinals, and they actually picked up Cersei. And
Oh yeah, that was fun to watch.
Yeah, that was crazy, man. St. Rocks was my co-caster, and he even brought it up before. I was completely unaware of that, but clearly Nullstone was. That actually worked. Did you know about that, or was that something that you were kind of surprised by as well?
You know, when the hero first came out, that's like something that people talked about. But I mean, it's been so long since we've seen Cersei. It just kind of falls under the radar.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, yeah, not going to be seen here, obviously, as again Nullstone gets it themselves, and yeah, we're kind of under the impression a little bit of a pickup to take it away from Team Disband, if anything, but. That's what we see here. So, okay, the ready-ups happen, and I think we're actually good to go now. Only about 40 minutes late. We're finally good. Okay, so now that we know who's playing what here, it looks like, so yeah, again, Fuzzy Sloth is going to be on that Behemoth. Ragroste, again, I have no clue. I don't know if you know that player.
I do. He's
okay. Okay. So, is he a solid replacement for this match, would you say?
Oh, yeah, definitely. He's by far their best player on, you know, of course.
Of course. Expect him to carry, in fact.
Yeah.
That's what you're getting at. All right, so carry bubbles in the works here. Okay. But, so, again, so now that we have the lane, so now that we have the players and whatnot, so, again, but going back to the Behemoth idea of him being middle, so now that we're certain, at least pretty certain that's going to be the case, how do you think this could work out for Nullstone?
I think it just depends whether or not the Legion team goes with that dual lane middle. I feel like if it is a solo middle, Nullstone will get away with this. And it's a little greedy, but hopefully they'll be able to get the fast PK on Behemoth and stop the early pushes.
Yeah.
So.
All right, we'll see if that works out. The Fade's actually already bought a hatchet. Oh my god, it's being played by Pewee, actually. Oh, I was just so caught up that was going to be a support Fade because of what happened if it's a sync game, but that's right, he's not. He's actually in the hands of Pewee here. They got Guifix on the Swiftblade. And, you know, this is Guifix, both Guifix and Pewee, just this team in general, they love to not only run Swiftblade, but Portal Key Elder Parasite is something we're very likely going to see here. From Swiftblade. What is your thoughts on that item combination?
Well, it really depends on the game. I feel like most games that they've played it so far, they've used it very well because, you know, the Swiftblade's allowed to sit on the enemy carry with that Elder Parasite. It's very hard to get away from a Swiftblade with an Elder Parasite and a Portal Key especially. So, versus those Puppet Masters that they've been playing against, I think it's been really good. And it's been working out for them, obviously.
Yeah. Again, especially as just a secondary carrier. Like, obviously they have the hard carry Bushwhack being played by Toltek in this case, so it's not like they're relying on him to be the big damage dealer necessarily into the late game, so he can afford to go more of those earlier game aggressive items with the Portal Key Elder Parasite, and it has worked out for them, as we have seen, so that's what I'm expecting once again. Very interesting route here by Nullstone as they go near the Kongor pit and into the jungle. The Ward of Sight also. Is that does that block the yellow camp?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think it's a little too far away for that, so just simply for the vision purposes here. From Baba
and maybe
Ganesh.
to get a Moira gank off with the illusion, so it doesn't get spotted.
Mm-hmm. You like that Ward of Sight placement? I mean, that is not your typical Ward of Sight here.
They will be able to see an Ophelia gank coming middle if he is in the Legion Forest, so that is a plus to it. And really, if Ophelia ever goes to the Hellborn jungle, I feel like he's going to get forced out by the Parasite regardless. Mm-hmm. So these wards really show fantastic vision of, you know, any attempt that Ophelia could possibly make at a gank.
Yeah. All right, Moira Behemoth in the middle lane is what it's ended up going to be here, at least initially. So much, yeah, for the solo Behemoth coming out. Moira and Behemoth going to be here. They're matched up against a Bushwhack off the bat. So really unique lanes here, honestly. From both teams. So Bushwhack middle, you got Fade is actually bottom with what's going to be Engineer. That has potential to be a really strong combo, so I think Bubbles needs to be careful with that. What do you think of the decisions here by Team Disband to lane it how they are, though?
Well, I feel like they got mind game a little bit just by the the players on the heroes, because Bushwick is very, very strong in the solo lane, and I mean, just from personal experience, he absolutely destroys bubbles in any matchup you could possibly think of.
Yeah.
So sending this engineer Fade down here, it feels like kind of a waste.
Yeah. So perhaps just having engineer go to the middle lane at this point, or are you fine with them at least? Well, if they're committed to it, they might as well stay like this.
Yeah, I mean, since the Moira has left the middle lane, I feel like it's okay to just have the Bushwhack solo versus another hero that he can obviously do very well against.
Especially in melee in that case. Bottom lane, though, Bubbles. He's going to take some good damage here. He will survive in the end, but again, clearly a very dangerous combination with the NG Fade. And it's resemblance of a Magnus NG, of course, but I think you could argue, honestly, a little bit stronger. Obviously, Fade doesn't necessarily need to go in herself with the Lava Surge stun, and that could be a benefit. That also could be a downside, whereas being next to the guy that you want. What would you say? Is it stronger, or is it maybe the same as far as the potential there? Or?
I feel like it's a little bit stronger just because the stun on Fade lasts so long, and you can get most of the turret damage, which is actually very hard to utilize most of the time. You can get that turret damage, almost the full duration with a Fade stun. So I feel like it may be a little bit stronger, but at the same time it is weaker, as you said, because you can't get those auto attacks from the beginning.
You also have the Cole on top of that, though, so a little bit more burst provided. Top lane, Swiftblade is going to end up falling. Most likely, yes, he will. Bloodlust kill in favor of Russia right there on the Moira. I caught that kind of halfway, but, I mean, even with the spin, not enough for... who was that? Guifix, actually, of course, on the Suicide Swiftblade to get away. Behemoth, in the meantime, in the middle lane. He's now in trouble, though. They're going for the quick counter kill, and they're probably going to be successful with it, as Teltuk ends up getting credit for it. So at least a response kill on their part, and it's safe to say they picked up on Moira being top, so they knew Behemoth was going to be alone in the middle lane right there. So, yeah, good execution on their part, and Panny doing a good job of roaming over and getting that assist. So, again, roaming over, getting the assist, and now he's headed back towards the bottom lane for the time being. See the Soul Scream being finished on Bushwhack, but what about the decision to send Moira top? Now, I know they got the kill with it, but again, it seems like that Behemoth should have a pretty difficult time. Wow, Bubbles goes down, actually. At the bottom. I don't know if you caught that by chance, but...
yeah, just another good combo coming out with Fade NG.
Yeah.
Just using all the spells.
So able to get the kill there. But again, Behemoth, clearly this is a little bit more of a difficult matchup now that he's by himself. Do you think keeping Moira up here makes the most sense, or should they really looking for him to babysit? It's actually Swiftblade again. I mean, I guess this kind of answers my question. The fact that he's now gotten 2 kills up here is pretty good. So I guess stick with it because it's working out here, right?
Yeah, and also, Behemoth doesn't really need that much farm. As we've seen with Solaire Club and Army of Nuns playing Behemoth, really all he needs is a portal key. So leaving him in a 1v1 lane isn't the biggest deal, and they are winning top lane very, very hard. So pays off in the end.
So 4 minutes in, already 4 hero kills between these two teams. And Behemoth right there, I don't know if that was intended to actually hit Bushwhack or just simply to help him farm, but misses nonetheless. So well, they would get a little bit extra damage there. How's Peaky Curdy doing, though, on Ophelia? 256 gold per minute. Yeah, none of her camps were blocked, at least I don't believe so. So it seems like her GPM is actually kind of reflecting that she's doing pretty solid here as far as her start is concerned. What is that about? It falls in 300, only 1 and 9. Wow. Yeah, so it's expected for a Suicide Swiftblade to actually get some pretty good, decent farm at least.
And he is roaming behind bottom to at least pick something up, so that's good.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, already those 2 deaths. I mean, what else can he do, right? Like, you don't really want to go back to the top lane with the 2 deaths, so is there much else that he can be doing here?
I don't really think so. I think he just has to find a place to roam, but even then, like, Ophelia's taking up most of the jungle. They have such great vision towards the bottom lane, so might just be suffering for a little while.
On top of that, he doesn't even have boots yet, so that's not helping the roaming factor. I mean, he's going to come middle right here with Ophelia. You see the word of sight, though. I mean, Behemoth knows exactly what's going on. He's going to position himself so. And I think they realize that pretty quickly themselves. So Behemoth not only survives, but a little bit of time wasted coming out there by Team Disband in the meantime. So Bushwhack, though, he does continue to get pretty solid farm, 310 gold per minute. What do you think Bushwhack should go here for like an earlier first item?
I feel like the Energizer that he's looking to go into is fine. Maybe even just straight into a Shrunken Head, to be honest. But
yeah,
looks like he's getting going on.
Yeah, he is. And actually, oh, he almost survives there. The health potion, not enough tick, though. And Samwraith able to chase him down, but good attempt. Again, that sidestep is a pretty solid tool for getting away, but not right there, as it was too much. Sandwraith using that ultimate at level 7 now, and assisting for the kill, so pretty important. But bottom lane, is Bubbles in trouble again? He might be, even as far as he is. He's in between the towers. He is able to take cover the Keg Stun at least, but not that net. And that's just way too much pressure coming out for him, and that's another death. So now 0-3 or 0-2 now for the Bubbles right there. You see, you'll feel even healing them up a little bit, but action does continue. Going back to the Bushwhack, though, so yeah, you like the idea of the Energize there, definitely makes sense there, but what do you think to follow that?
I really think the Shrunken Head is just really poor this game. Maybe not as a second item. He might need maybe even the Whispering Helm to be able to stack those Ancients effectively, because he is very, very good at tanking Ancients, especially even at level 6. And then even into a Shrunken Head right after that, because versus a Behemoth, a Bubbles, and a Parasite, he's really going to need to be able to stay in those fights.
Now, this is interesting with this build, because you mentioned that he's really good for doing Ancients, earlier on in the game especially, but I would think a lot of that has to do with the Splinter Shot. He doesn't actually have any points in it yet. In fact, he just maxed out his sidestep first. I don't know how familiar you are with this hero, but would you say that's almost normal, or is he doing something different, or...?
I mean, it's sort of the build where you go to win the lane, especially, and seeing as he is doing that, he's able to just farm the lane and box out this Behemoth effectively. So it is sort of like, it's similar to a Moon Queen in that sense. You want to max the Moon Beam and then get level 2 of the aura and then start working on the glaives.
Okay.
Sort of similar to Bushwhack. Around level 8, you should see the Splinter Shot.
Okay. So, well, level 7 now, so next level, we'll see if he agrees with that or goes a slightly different here. But, yeah, he's, again, farming pretty well, but guess who's farming at the top of the team is Pee-wee down here on Fade, and understandably so. Again, having a very good time in this lane, a couple of kills to work with, more so 1-0-1, but still 437 gold per minute. Early Ghost March has the Ring of the Teacher on top of that Iron Shield here. Do you think, I mean, does it have to be a portal key, or would you like to see something else in the Fade?
Well, I feel like it doesn't necessarily have to be a portal key just because of that Sandwraith factor. He doesn't know if he's going to mock yet or not, and that will stop his portal key presence as it is. So I wouldn't be surprised if he just went for more build-up, and he's actually buying a Mana Tube.
Yeah.
So maybe a Nullstone?
Yeah, I mean, is there really anything else at this point? Storm Spirit? But
A really fast Sheepstick, maybe.
yeah, get that early Sheepstick. I'm not wrong, right? Storm Spirit is a Mana Tube? Yeah, it is. So maybe that, I guess. I mean, it does help with the run speed, in that ulti form especially. I don't know. That would seem weird. No. Yeah, Nullstone, I think, is the option to go with, though. It's probably not going to be a Rune Cleaver, I think it's safe to say.
Yeah, hope not.
On the Fade here. Okay, so yeah, we'll see. That is a good point, though, about Sandwraith especially. You never really know for certain. And even without a portal, or even without a mock on him, I mean, still, that ultimate alone is very good for disabling portal keys, of course. So, Nullstone, another reason why it also could be good is, well, the obvious there was Sandwraith, so. Yeah, it is a full sustainer, so at least we have that part. And so, yeah, pretty certain now that Nullstone is correct there. Well, now that goes to the logic of, do you think that makes sense? Do you like that?
It will protect him in the sense of him being stealthy, just because if he has Invis and his team is going to get initiated on, it will feel really, really awkward to just have a Sandwraith illusion in the middle of the trees, and they're like, oh, wow, there's a Fade behind us. So it will help him be a little sneakier and maybe catch off a Behemoth in the background without being spotted. So
okay.
It's okay. It's just not ideal to have to get it.
Yeah,
especially on a Fade.
Exactly. It's not more like I said, the portal key. Hell, I remember even Codex when that was a popular thing. The Parasite style. Lex Talionis, I think, would be good on him. That's actually top lane of Swift Blade. Speaking of Parasite, he comes in right here with Behemoth, as well as Sandwraith even assisting. In fact, Beaverbanger gets credit for the kill, but a lot of work being done by Parasite and Behemoth right there. More so to collapse for that kill. Guifix not having a good time. 0-3-0 at that top lane. So forget the idea of a Portal Key or Parasite. He's just trying to finish Ghost Marchers right now at this time. And how do you think the struggles of Swiftblade is going to really affect this Legion team here?
You know, it might not be that difficult for them to, in the end or for the Swiftblade to recover just because of the Ophelia and all the tower kills, but I think bottom's going to get gone in a second.
Poor Bubbles. Oh, nice reaction on his part. But Fade choosing not to open up with a stun, so now again, granted, wants that a little bit of extra damage, but it's going to come at a cost right here. He will fall as Sandwraith ports in with the Mirage and gets the counter kill. So yeah, it's interesting. We see the Fade Sandwraith combination on the same team, but it's also Sandwraith is kind of a decent counter in a sense to Fade, where if he does open somebody far away, then you know Sandwraith can ulti like he did right there and then try to help out. If not, get the counter kill. So, yep. Fade. What? Do you think that was a poor play by PB, or was that just good reaction by Bubbles there?
It may even. I mean, it could be either of those, but it could even be a late issue, to be honest, because they aren't playing on an EU server. So
True.
maybe it was even just he wasn't comfortable getting off both attacks.
Yeah.
And the stun.
All right. I think Whispering Helm is going to be the choice for Pushback. I just saw the Helm of the Victim purchased on him, but he didn't finish the Energizer, actually. He did go the Mystic Vestments, but he's still sitting with just the Soul Scream Ring, but obviously doing some Ancients here now. He does have a level 2 Splinter Shot, so going back to that, you're right there, 8 and 9. Putting points into that. Behemoth top lane, he's by himself right now, so obviously I don't think anything's going to come of this yet, at least, but hell, he has a bottle and Steam Boots already. Definitely that Portal Key could be next in line, but now here comes Sandwraith. He's gonna open with Shockwave here most likely. Oh, yeah, there we go. Waiting for the creep wave. Well played. Well played by Fuzzy Sloth there. Lex Talionis picked up on Parasite. Again, most Parasite players seem to do this nowadays, but there are the few games that for some reason we see Parasites not pick up a Lex. How do you feel about that? Do you think it's just you have to get it, or can you understand not getting it?
I feel like it depends on how you play with it, because you know most games where they don't go the Lex Talionis and it actually works out for them is where they're playing that more passive style where they farm up that level 3 puzzle box very, very early, and they manage to make use of that. But what you got is playing very aggressive, so I can see why you bought the Lex.
Is it currently? Well, can't check the level just yet because good old Parasite in a Wild Hunter. He's actually going to find Fade right here. He doesn't Fade. Could he actually burst here? It's only 800 life Fade, no mitigation really as far as magic damage goes. Yeah, with Sisters and Samus especially. There's the opening of Philia's Touch, saving him a little bit longer, but not long enough. The Lex did come out fairly late right there, but again, really didn't matter as it was enough damage. So even with Ophelia's Touch, still not enough to save Peewee there. And Peewee's actually now been killed a couple of times since he's had a great start here. And, I mean, he's still 370 gold per minute, but it is dwindling a little bit. Perhaps of concern for Team Disband. Middle lane, it's going to be maybe a deny, maybe a tower kill. Behemoth jumps in again, doesn't have his ultimate just yet. The stun, though, from Moira comes out. Bushwhack being locked out, but there's a counter energy field. This one slashes the spin. Behemoth, he's going to stay alive, though. Arcane Vortex is used. They did get Ophelia kill. Will they get more? That's the question. Lex applied. Swiftblade, one auto attack away. The leech comes out. And what you got will pick up the kill right there. They deny the tower on top of it all. And no one died. Behemoth did live in the end, so I think Nullstone won that fight there. Very safe to say. Anything you noticed in that fight there?
Well, that Moira was actually absolutely huge. I mean, it stopped the Swiftblade ulti and eventually saved Behemoth. It actually popped him out on the way other side of all the other enemy heroes. So that was a very big play by Baba Ganoush.
Yeah. It's a fun name to say. That's one of the name changes that I've been like, okay, you know, I'm fine with that. Still not a huge fan of name changes in general of players that we know, but that's
it is way more fun.
Baba Ganoush, it's just rolls off the tongue. Just fun to say. Portal Key on Behemoth, by the way. Now he has that too. So, and guess what? He uses it right away. Panty goes down right there. So good initiation from Fuzzy Sloth, getting the solo kill from himself. And Yeah, and not many teams that we've seen the Suicide, obviously more of a secondary support, but I want to say Nullstone's the only team that's ever ran it in this role, at least as of late, the middle, you know, more the ganking initiator farming role from the beginning, and they've made it work, and once again here, so do you think it's something that maybe teams should start picking up more on, or is it just, you know, do what they're comfortable with?
It could be just what they're comfortable with, too, but, you know, Behemoth with those early levels, just depending on whether they take the fights or not before he's level 11 is really the issue. And because they do have the Ophelia on the team, maybe they wanted him to get those levels faster and have a huge shockwave like the one they had at middle.
And just wait till next patch, too, man, when he's able to enrage for, what is it, 375% now at level 4 as far as enhanced damage. Get those Rift Shards, that Assassin Shroud. Dear God. He's going to be one-shotting people at that point. No, but seriously, do you think that... I'm not even going to ask, because I wanted it to happen so much, but it's not going to. I know. What should realistically Behemoth get here next? That's not an Assassin Shroud.
I mean, even just a straight refresher would be okay with me, but he might not have the mana pool to use it just yet.
Oh, yeah.
Even a tablet to get out of those Swiftblade slashes would be okay.
Okay.
Looks like that's what he's going for, maybe.
Yeah. The Neophyte's Book tends to usually lead to that, but could be several options. But yeah, the tablet would make a lot of sense. And oh my God, look at Pee-wee's items. The one that we were certain was not going to be the case is apparently the case. He's actually going a Runed Cleaver on Fade. Make logic of this, Artifa. Please, I dare you to.
Well, I mean, it's sort of similar to what we saw Imbo Boy with. He had... Oh, wait. Meantime, Sandra's dying.
Is that a kill?
To this Rundex
oh my
maybe?
God! No.
Oh.
It's not enough. Oh, that's brutal. Meanwhile, bottom lane, there's a counter initiation. Behemoth, actually. There's that Arcane Vortex, though, again. Nice energy field right on top of the gun with a shockwave. As soon as he does fall shortly after, though. Engineer did die, but again, he got the energy field out. Meanwhile, more coming on. Parasite joins the party. He gets to call on a Swiftblade, but that's going to come at a cost most likely. No, he cannot invest in time. And a double tap for Teltuk, actually. So Bubbles is forced to run away now, and he will be fine. But so Fade doing what he did, not getting the kill, did help at least a little bit because it did mean Sandwraith wasn't able to assist there at that bottom fight. But still, very unfortunate. One auto attack away from getting that. How about that fight, though? Who do you think came out on top there? I think it's safe to say Team Disband, right?
Yeah, and especially since, you know, it kind of looked like Fade almost bought back there because he respawned so fast. Maybe it threw Nullstone a little off guard. But, yeah, that was just good timing for when they killed the Fade, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But
wait,
back to the...
when did they kill the Fade? Hold on, what are we talking about?
Top lane, didn't they?
No, Fade didn't die.
Oh, he didn't?
He poured it in. No, yeah, he almost killed Sandwraith, that's what happened.
Oh, I thought they had a turn kill.
No. Then the fight of bottom lane took place. Yeah, that's why I was a little confused. I'm like, wait a second. You're right. That would have been a very fast resurrection. But no, he's stayed alive throughout all that. And on top of that, now he's finished a Rune Cleaver. So you were kind of making a point, though, as far as maybe some logic.
I don't know. It's sort of similar to what Imbo Boy did when he bought that Alchemist Bones on Nighthound a while ago. When you're not ganking with your ultimate, there is that downtime, and you don't want to fall off, especially being one of your core heroes. You want to continue to, you know, scale into the late game. And I guess they see that this game's... I mean, it's not too slow, but they aren't being able to push with their Ophelia as much as they would like.
Yeah.
And maybe they just feel like, you know, this is the option that he has to go.
Okay. Bushwhack. I know you talked about the Whispering Helmet. Again, he did end up going that. He has a Firebrand now, but Quincy was pointing out earlier, and it's kind of true, that makes sense, that Thunderclaw actually seems to be a very popular item on this guy. He chooses to pass it up completely, again, going more of a different style ability for the Bushwhack. Do you think the Thunderclaw could have been the better investment, especially since he has had a little bit of static farm time, or are you still happy with his choices here?
I feel as though his choices are okay, just because he needs to be in those fights, and Thunderclaw is more of a farming tool most of the time. And the Whispering Helm is just so strong on Bushwhack, so I feel as though those items are okay.
All right. Oop, Engineer, he's trying to get away. Could happen, actually. The energy field's going to save the day there, and Gonna force Sandwraith to worry about that rather than going for the kill. So good job by him. By the way, I think he might have brought it up earlier, but there we go. In fact, Mock and Brilliance just finished on Sandwraith now, and I think Mock's one of those items on a Sandwraith where if you're going it when you're when you're kind of behind earlier on, it's always iffy. But if you're ahead and he's 4-0-5 now, and so he gets it at this point, his team's up 12-6. I think it makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah, and especially, it kind of forces the enemy team to play a little differently. I mean, Guifix might not be buying that portal key, especially since he's suffering, and same with the Fade. I mean, he's made him buy these very awkward items because they knew that the Mock Sanders was eventually going to be coming in, so I like it a lot.
All right, so Ophelia, we haven't... Pink and Curdy's 2-1-2, so it's not like he hasn't been involved by any means, but it doesn't seem like he's been... I mean, what's the tower situation like? I guess they have gotten a couple. I know the middle was denied. I guess where I'm getting at is, do you think Ophelia's had a big impact so far, or has done enough, or should she be doing more here?
Just because the game is going so passive, they are playing against a behemoth with a portal key and a parasite, so Ophelia obviously isn't going to be able to have that great snowball factor as we see most of the time with an Ophelia, but him going this more utility route, having the heal, and eventually it looks like he's going to barrier idol for that behemoth. I feel like he's going to be useful enough in the team fights, even though he's not pushing. So I do like his items, at least, where he's going.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised he has that much of an inventory, honestly, with 266 gold per minute. But, yeah, he's again 2-1-2 overall, so kind of helps there. And top tower kill on top of that. So, I mean, overall golden experience, it really is nothing too big here. I honestly kind of expected almost, especially with Sandwraith and Behemoth, with what they're doing, that Nullstone would have been pretty far ahead at this point. But that's not the case. I mean, the overall stats, again, say this is a pretty even game right here. Do you think the stats kind of reflect it, or do you feel that Nullstone is even a little more ahead at this point?
Well, they are fighting these team fights more often than normally I would say they should be versus the enemy team, but the enemy team really just isn't forcing the issue. So, I mean, they are using the map effectively. They are farming those Ancients very well with the Bushwhack. So I feel like it should be this even, just because that Bushwhack is taking those triple stacks pretty much every 3 minutes, and Nullstone hasn't touched their Ancients that much.
Sandwraith, he comes in with the Mirage. Ophelia does see Ophelia's touch, but no, she didn't even use it right there. I thought she had. She actually went to teleport, I think, one of her minions back to base, or I don't know what happened. Anyways, point is, she dies. Yeah, as they're able to catch it. Yeah, the catch potential is, as it usually would be with the Sandwraith team, is pretty ridiculous here. Portal Key Behemoth, you got Parasite now, of course. Parasite did go the puzzle box, by the way, on top of that Lex, so again, going pretty routine build here is what you got. Currently level 2, and you have Sandwraith now, another 1,800 gold already saved up. They were kind of interested in Kongor earlier, but now they're actually going to commit to it at this point. And you look at the vision around Kongor Pit. I mean, Penny does have a word of sight here. It's not seeing all the way into the pit, though, by any means, and it's not in the best spot either for this. So yeah, this is going to be a free Kongor kill, it looks like, for Nullstone here. And I'm guessing they're going to give it to Sandwraith. Pretty obvious choice there, I would think. What do you think about Bubbles prioritizing a tablet over a portal key himself?
I'm not that sure if I like it, but maybe he's just been feeling like he's been ganked by that Fade a lot, so he needed the extra HP from the tablet, maybe a little bit more of a chance to get away, so it's really just a player thing, game to game. Maybe he was just feeling it.
Yeah, he had a struggle early on in this game, a couple of deaths, but managed to come back here. And again, Ragroste in place of Asuka, who was having some technical issues, is making a pretty solid debut here today, as far as at least being on Honcast. Moira's kind of pushing this bottom lane by herself pretty aggressively, but as you see on the minimap, not necessarily needing to be too worried about what's going on. 3,800 gold on Bushwhack, by the way. Wow. He has pulled up that gold. You mentioned Shrunken Head earlier. I guess that could be what he's saving up for.
Yeah, but even then, like, I don't know why people save this much gold. Like, I know you really don't like it, but I don't like it as well.
Yeah.
I mean, what's surprise Shrunken gonna do? Like, especially this game.
Sandwraith, is he actually going somewhere? I don't think he is. Oh, he does. Wow. He's going up here, but no, they get away. Yeah, it was close. Yeah, jeez. He almost did die himself, right? But He manages to stay alive. It is going to be a shrunken head, though, as you pointed out. Right there. Where's the courier? Oh, there, it's top line. Yeah, it's not as bad as the chipper experience that we had recently by any means, but... Wait, it's Tiltuk! Oh, it's the same guy! Oh my god, now that makes it that much worse. I just realized that.
Didn't listen to you.
Oh, Tiltuk, what are we going to do with you? Swiftblade chose to go the other Parasite, by the way, still, and I'm guessing he's still going to go the Portal Key now on top of that. Even despite his struggles. 6 deaths, yeah, it's not been an easy game for him. You think it still makes sense to go that, as we do see it right there? Those combo of items?
I'm not 100% sure if he should be going the Portal Key, but since he did buy it, they really, really are banking on that initiation. They need the Fade to get that amazing initiation, and him just Portal Key and sit on top of whoever they're prioritizing. Yeah. Probably the Behemoth, but...
Yeah,
okay. Well, he did sell it.
Yeah, he did. Interesting. So maybe a change of heart here, or simply waiting to see what happens with this push at least. That could be very likely the case. Again, it wasn't going to get to him really that quickly, and with this push now happening, he wanted to see how it goes. But I mean, Nullstone's not stopping, so if you're a team Disband over here, you might want to be getting back as they are. Shrunken Head just purchased by Fade, by the way. Got enough gold for that. Token Alive Santa Wraith, though, sitting in the front lines, just easily gets a tower kill and gonna fall back. Now they lost their secondary tower, but definitely a favorable trade still for Nullstone. Token still has 2 minutes remaining on it. They're not gonna force the issue though. Again, it's still pretty early on in the game, 27 minutes in. A little too early to be comfortable pushing up into the base, as they still have some secondary towers up even. So steal some Ancients on top of that. Okay, he ends up going Firebrand on Swiftblade, so he does have a little bit of a change of heart there.
Yeah, he must have. Yeah, it was probably the team too. I mean, Griefix is probably like, "No, I'm gonna buy the Portal Key. It's so amazing." But the team obviously they're like, "Oh, Mock Sandwraith, what are you doing?"
Yeah, that's true. Fine, I'll go something else. But I was gonna bring up though, honestly, one on the Abyssal Skull. I feel like they're missing that right now.
And especially since Fade is going this more attack damage sort of item, I'm not sure why they don't have an Abyssal. He actually sold his Ring of the Teacher, the Fade. I'm not sure if he meant to do that, but...
Probably.
I don't know.
Probably meant to do that, which is still strange. But, yeah, considering he even has an open inventory spot, like, why would he do that? But Pee-wee's doing some interesting things this game, that's for certain. I mean, he has definitely been one of those players, though, that, those carry players that does his own thing, but tends to do it pretty well, to be fair, throughout the history we have seen him. So this game, though, it still is definitely pretty odd seeing that Ring Cleaver. I mean, do you like the Shrunken Head at least that he followed up with?
Oh yeah, I feel like most of the cores on the Legion team need a Shrunken Head just because of that Behemoth and bubbles. But
look at that, actually. He uses it right there, and it helps him big time to help take out Mora by himself. As the team's coming in, Sandwraith's trying to maybe pick somebody, but he realizes that it's not going to be the friendliest fight. Energy field kind of wasted right there as well. So, nice pick on a Moira, but it's all that happened, really. So, Nullstone not too disappointed, I'm sure, as they will fall back and farm some more. But Fade right away back in that invis again. And now that she's so close to level 16, and when we did see Fade quite a bit, we talked about this all the time. It's ridiculous. Level 3 ultimate, 50-second uptime and a 60-second cooldown. 10-second window is what's possible if you just end up not using the coming out of the invis in between the breaks. So that's a really significant point as she hits it right there, in fact, at this time. So, Sandwraith, where's he going? Bottom lane, that's a free kill. Yeah, if you're a support in this game, in this case Pantheon Team Disband, don't be pushing a bottom lane by yourself, because that'll happen every time.
Well, I mean, it is Panny, after all. He does, not to flame, but he does die a lot every game, so...
It's a struggling game. And, he got the Ward of Sight. Oh, no, that was actually earlier. So I don't even know what he was doing, honestly, down here at this time. But, well, yeah, so hopefully learning his lesson from that, I guess. But that's something you usually want to be doing. Bushwhack, where does he go now? Let's keep playing the guessing game here.
I'm actually not too sure. Maybe a Wingbow, or I don't think the Geometer's Bane is the choice here this game. I just feel like the AoE from Behemoth and Bubble is going to get rid of the illusions anyways, so it's not really going to do that much. And maybe the Wingbow forces Sandwraith to buy a Savage Mace, and if he can get it fast enough, it'll be a pretty decent impact this game.
Yeah. The range on the Wingbow as well, always pretty damn nice. What is he right now? 450, so yeah, we'll go up to 550 there as far as the range is concerned, and that could be of significant impact. Yeah, Bushwhack I've always kind of found it to be an interesting carry, because I understand like his damage potential can get pretty crazy, as any carry can, especially a range carry with great farm, but the Jungle Toxin's a very interesting ability that's not a bursty ability, but it will add up in the fights against those targets. So being physical damage on top of that as well is, of course, important to note. So shrunken heads and whatnot won't necessarily matter against that, and then of course the Splinter Shot is what really helps in the scale as far as that AoE damage in those fights. So they don't have like a clump up ability though. They don't have like obviously like a Flux or a Tempest or a Keeper to keep them in place clumped up. And I almost think that's a little bit of a fault of the lineup. But going to a hero like Bushwhack, wouldn't you want kind of that AoE synergy, or do you think they have maybe with Engineer? Or
I feel like maybe, now that I look at it more, they picked the Bushwhack because it does do very well against Sandwraith. I mean, he can't, just run into the trees with that Desert's Curse, because it does apply that, True Sight, I think, or Clear Vision. So, Fade can't just run away. Maybe that was their thinking behind it.
Okay. Oh, they want to go for the top lane. Maybe? Moira? Moira's Illusion got killed pretty quickly right there, so that might stall it a little bit. And yeah, Behemoth's not able to charge in time to go for something. Swiftblade off to the side. He does have the portal key now, actually. So he ended up going after the Firebrand. Gets one a little bit of farm. He's going to jump in the background. Fade with an opening 2. Oh, but the nice tablet right there. He misses a stun with the Burning Shadows, and Behemoth is going to survive for the time being. Meanwhile, Sandwraith in the background picks off Engineer. A couple of split fights going on. Swiftblade's going to be bursted down by Parasite. Behemoth is coming back in. Behemoth coming back in. No, he doesn't get there in time. Sandwraith goes down just before, and Behemoth's not able to jump, and I thought it was happening, but he got there too late. He does get the Fissure Stun off at least, and maybe to set up a kill on Ophelia, but no, she too will even survive, as now they want to go for Fade, actually, who ended up living throughout all of that, but not for long, they say. And Fade, one auto attack. Yes, they get it off, as Baba Ganoush there will do the job. So, I mean, they killed Sandwraith at least, but they do lose Swiftblade and Fade in the end. So, I mean, that's actually not too bad, I guess, for Team Disband.
Yeah, I'm just surprised they didn't follow up on that fight. I mean, I guess, Swiftblade did die, but they still had like 3 or 4 up, I think, and their main carry was down. Maybe they were just scared of the Behemoth Shockwave, but, they were even running away with Bushwhack's shrunken head up. I wasn't too sure what was going on.
Yeah. Not confident in fighting yet, I guess, at this time. Knowing that Behemoth, again, they went to kill Behemoth initially, and it didn't happen, but so I guess just knowing that Behemoth was ready to come back in was probably what really scared them. But like you say, he even had a shrunken head up, so perhaps going to be a little more confident there, but they took what they got. And again, they got the carry for a Fade and a Swiftblade, which, yeah, it's not like the most favorable exchange, but still. Carry kill is the important thing. And another 4,700 gold on Bushwhack, so that idea of something like a Wingbow is very possible. Coming out.
Yeah, and it is Teltic, so I mean, he's going to save up until he has the gold.
Right-click that item. It's just a good feeling, I guess. Portal key picked up on Fade now, so yeah, gets it eventually. Swiftblade, excuse me, he goes down. Fuzzy Sloth, a solo kill. That is not going to happen often, and I think I just saw that right. A Restoration Stone finished onto Fuzzy Sloth now. And yeah, he definitely has enough mana here, right? Yeah, he has a tablet, so I don't know, actually. Once he gets this finished, how much does it cost? 265 plus the 300.
I think he has enough for everything except a second Fissure.
Yeah. I want to say something like that. Okay. So we'll need to get a little bit more mana, ideally, but good to go. And actually, more initiation coming out right here. Parasite's going to get caught in the background near the Kongor pit. The Arcane Vortex will stall it, though. Sandwraith pops the Mirage. Shrunken Head up from Bushwhack. Behemoth still looking for an opportunity. Faye looking to beat down Sandwraith. That is the real one that they find. Burning Shadow's going to miss, however. And now Bubbles looking to go back in with Shelter. Look at the Bushwhack damage, though, but now he's exposed. Does not have a Shrunken. And Behemoth realized that, goes in for the stomp, and down goes Bushwhack. He also tries to cast Fade, but that's not going to happen. However, Kongor now is open, so with Swiftblade dead especially, not a fight you're looking to take definitely for Team Disband. But he does resurrect now, and I wonder if that's going to be enough to stall Nullstone. It looks like it is. They're not too confident. Should they go for here, you think? At least force a buyback from Bushwhack, or are you fine with him retreating?
I think I'm okay with them retreating just because they don't have any rev wards on them, or even a bound die, so...
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they're scared of. They don't have the puzzle box up on Parasite. They just don't want to risk it, because maybe they just feel confident in their late game. Especially with the double shockwave coming out, so...
How do you feel? That's what's important about their late game. Do you think they should feel comfortable?
Well, I feel like it's really going to come down to initiation. If they can get that Portal Key Swiftblade and Fade on top of that Behemoth and, you know, take him out of the fight before the Resto Stone, they do have a very good chance at winning this game.
Yeah.
But really it just depends on who gets the initiation, in my opinion.
Yeah,
otherwise it's fairly even.
Yeah, no, that's of course what a lot of these games come down to if it happens to be the later game. And once again, who more experienced with late games than Nullstone? So that's what they're all about. 36.5 minutes in now. Kongor, the second Kongor kill, looking to be done. You see a ward of sight and once again nearby, but not necessarily into the pit. So they are pretty blind in that sense. And you can kind of tell that they're over near their Ancients. I mean, they're definitely in a spot where they could have looked at, I mean, hell, they're even using Failed Rot, but they're not going to get over here. They think they're elsewhere. They think they're in the jungle, it looks like. I wonder if that really caught them off guard, or if they were just maybe setting up a flank here? Huh.
You know, maybe they were just trying to use the Fade ulti more effectively, because it is something that is very strong to keep in mind of. You can just follow your Fade if he has that ult.
Oh, big jump here, Bubble. Song of the Sea, though. That's a good start right there. It prevented Fade from getting a good opening. Bushwhack trying to chase, not going to happen, though. The tablets are too strong, man. You see the Samwraith Mirage eventually wearing out right there. Energy Field doing a little bit of work against that. But now the chase is on. Samwraith wants Bushwhack. Arcane Vortex going to stall him. It's going to allow Samwraith to get the jump in the back of Behemoth. He pops the Shockwave, but the Swift Slashes cut through him. But it doesn't matter for Bushwhack. He goes down as well. Once again, some split fights happening. And the big picture, it's a 2-for-1 exchange in favor of Nullstone Gaming. Swiftblade is going to be able to spin away and eventually Portal Key. So we're seeing that happen a couple times now. Definitely a couple of different fights going on, but that time, no doubt, Nullstone coming out on top. I mean, you see these tablets and how impactful they're proving to be, especially against the Bushwhack, honestly. I feel like it's having the most... Like, the Crippling Dart comes out, it's really slow, heavy slow, but the tablet pushes them away into a safe spot, and Bushwhack doesn't want to dive them.
Yeah, and even another thing to keep in mind, I mean, this gold lead is already a little bit, you know, just getting out there, but Bushwhack has 5,000 gold on him. I mean, that pretty much makes the gold lead even bigger every time they try and take a team fight with Bushwhack having this 5,000 gold on him. So I feel like they really shouldn't be taking these fights until he has that finished item, whatever it is.
That's a really good point. Yeah, he's died twice now with that much gold, basically. Oh, jeez. Yeah, you know, it's... I don't know how much we can harp on it before it's eventually realized by a player, but, you know, hopefully maybe this will be the game that they realize that, yeah, and maybe having that dancing blade would have been a little bit more damage output or more armor to keep him alive or whatever the situation. Hell, get a snake bracelet, honestly. If you are going to be going to Wingbow, just get the snake bracelet. I mean, get that evasion going against this Hellborn team to help out, but...
I mean, I guess the only, you know, saving grace out of this is that Sandwraith does have a Blessed Orb, so he might not be going for that Savage Mace if that is what he decides to pick up.
Oh, you see right there, yeah, he gets the Geometer Span at least, but Sandwraith once again, Swiftblade jumping in right here. That's going to probably come at a cost, though, especially for Engineer at least. I will say the Energy Field's doing a lot of work against Sandwraith with those illusions, but he's going to survive for now. Will he survive in the long run? Fade looking to open, but again, he got stunned just before. Pop struck ahead, and now Bubbles taking some good damage. Sandwraith is as well. He still has a token, though, remember. He's going to be coming right back up, so they kill him, but coming right back up. Behemoth with a shockwave. Ophelia goes down. Engineer's dead, and Swiftblade, he's going to have to pop the Swift Slashes more so to survive, if anything. He puts a spin off, but it doesn't matter. He goes down. Bushwhack now. He's going to go for the TP. That will not happen. A 4-for-nothing exchange. A double tap for Beaver Banger, and sure, the token was used, but no big deal, says Nullstone, and now they're pushing for middle. What was that fight all about right there?
I'm not sure. I mean, they went on a crazy initiation, and then I guess they couldn't get out. They used their shrunken heads way too early, and Nullstone just reset the fight and went back in.
Yeah.
Very well played.
Yeah.
And once again, Bushwhack fighting with 5,000 gold.
Yep. No, I agree. That's definitely of a concern, no doubt. I mean, sitting on that much gold, 3 fights in a row that have all been very significant fights. And at the beginning of the first of the 3 fights, within the last like 5 minutes here, I mean, the golden experience was still pretty close to one another. But now it's a 15,000 gold lead and an 18,000 experience lead here. For Nullstone Gaming, obviously. So, yeah, showing the replay real quickly. Again, the enemy field, it has been doing some good work against the illusions. The fact that it will instantly kill them against Sand Wraith, but it still wasn't enough that last fight. As they did use quite a bit to initially kill Sand Wraith, but obviously the token. And, yeah, I'm also looking at the last fight. I mean, Bushwhack, he got completely split off from his team, whether that was just good play by maybe more with the Arcane Vortex, or I don't know, but he was in a not safe spot and eventually got picked off there, as we saw on that replay. So yeah, as far as comeback potential here now for Team Disband, what kind of hopes you giving them at this point?
I mean, in my opinion, I think this game's already over. Just the way these last few team fights have gone, and especially, just the mindset these players are having on the Legion team. It is very late for them, like we pointed out earlier. Just playing another game like this, I mean, they're probably just feeling really down.
Yeah. Not helpful, definitely. So we'll see. Again, it's really unfortunate we do have a pause here. Obviously, there is an actual disconnect, though, on Moira. So hopefully able to come back here pretty shortly, and then we'll be good to go. But I've been asking this question to a lot of my co-casters recently. What do you think about Moira as a support? Do you think she's even the go-to support now on the competitive scene, or where does she place?
I think she is up there, but it really depends how you play her. I mean, some of these teams they pick that Moira and they don't play it to its full potential. I mean, you should be using that ephemeral forge every time it's up to get a gank going. So, I mean, the teams that are using it, they're obviously having that amazing success, and it is working out for them. It's probably the strongest support in the game when you do use it like that. But
yeah.
Some teams, they just don't get those. They don't prioritize the levels on Moira as much as they should, and eventually it just leads to just any normal support being, in that suffering position.
Yeah. Yeah, when the hero again first kind of came out, I understand why a lot of people were somewhat skeptical. Even though I really like playing the hero, I've mentioned this before. The ultimate is a funky ability at times, and especially when you're not playing with a completely coordinated team, it can cause a lot more issues than help, to be fair. But if you're on top of the communication, whether you're using it to, what I do find interesting when it first came out, a lot of people were thinking of the idea, and I kind of had this logic too, that the ultimate would be more of an initiation tool, I guess, or a fight stopper, which it kind of is. But what I think we've seen it used for quite a bit and most effective is the delay tool. That ephemeral force, she catches maybe a carry like in the jungle. Her team's not necessarily there yet, but she's able to Arcane Vortex them, keep them in place for those 4 seconds, basically, and then eventually have the team come join. So it really has proven to be a very, very powerful tool in general in a lot of different cases. So I think that amongst, just her obvious big-time mobility, at the same time being safe with it, is a very powerful combination there. So that is more. We'll see if she gets changes in the upcoming patch. Again,
yeah, and I actually agree with you, Rick. When the Moira hero first came out, I was like, oh my god, this hero is amazing. But then, everybody started flaming me when I picked it, so I was like, whatever. Just wait till it's on
exactly.
Honcast.
You and I knew. We the smart guys over here. Both of us are like 2,000 MMRs, so we know what we're doing when it comes to this.
Come on, Ricky. You don't need to be modest. You're way above 2,000.
The ladder doesn't even show me because of just how high I am. It wouldn't want to embarrass everyone else. So
exactly.
That's how it works. Yeah, so he's still not coming back just yet, unfortunately. Speaking of the Moira player in this game, where do you think this went wrong for Team Disband? As far as this game, was this a draft issue ultimately? Was this maybe an itemization issue? No doubt the Rune Cleaver on Fade was an odd start. Yeah, is this just, or is this ultimately just Nullstone just playing it very well?
I think it's a little bit of both. They set up their drafts so they had sort of a timing window that they had to hit, and then they picked this weird bushwhack to sort of counteract the Sandrith a little bit more than just the engineer fields. And I mean, it is sort of like their backup plan since they didn't get to push with their Ophelia and gank with the Fade, etc. And they kind of fell behind right after the laning phase because they didn't get to snowball like they should have. So I think that's sort of where it went wrong. And the items don't help, buying a Rune Cleaver on Fade.
5,000 gold on Bushwhack.
Not even an item.
Yeah. Alright, it looks like he's actually back now. So hopefully the continuation is upon us here. And again, this is game one of a best of 5, guys. That's set to be coming at us. So yeah, myself, it's still somewhat early for me, being American, just like yourself, apparently. So, but yeah, I can feel for the Europeans, man. it's already getting late for them. It's getting pretty late for them, and there's still potentially 4 more games if it goes the distance, at least 2 more, of course. So we'll see. We'll see how this continues, but. Still no word yet. Okay. Looks like they already know themselves. Here we go.
No answer.
Yeah, that's just the immediate unpause. I mean, that's kind of an answer, I guess. They're ready, so let's just unpause it. Why waste words? You see, Samwraith, Frost of Skull just delivered, so he, in essence, had a couple of Blessed Orbs now on
God. Why did he buy a staff on Bushwhack?
Wait, what?
But a staff of the master.
You know what that is? It's him trolling, hardcore.
Yeah, they're just done.
No, but it's him. It's him referencing the Chipper game. I 100% guarantee that. That's what he did right there. Why did we sit in that pause?
I have no idea. We sat in that pause for like 20, 30 minutes, and then they just unpaused immediately.
They literally conceded the game right after the pause. Like, they didn't even play it out. I don't get that at all. Whatever.
I mean, it might be a mindset issue, too. I mean,
yeah,
it's just so late for them. They're probably just trying to have fun with it.
Just having fun, I guess. I mean, props to Teletic. Hopefully, he is having fun with it in that sense, too. That's a little bit of I can appreciate that troll effort by him. But, yeah, again, I mean, we pretty much already covered it. Just Nullstone not only playing very well themselves, how Beaverbanger 12-1-8 on a Sand Wraith, but Disband, yeah, a couple of just I think the itemization was the biggest key for me, and Switchblade being locked in at the top lane too, that caused a lot of issues as far as the development of the team for Disband moving forward. So, any final thoughts on that game number 1 before going on the break here?
No, I think we pretty much touched over, or you pretty much touched over it, just the items in general, and Teltook saving up 5,000 gold to buy a staff.
To troll and concede the game, yeah.
Yeah.
Not best option.